Let me ask you a question. What is your job title? Is it solution architect, sales engineer, solution engineer, application engineer, sales consultant, technical pre-sales consultant? Mine was application engineer when I first got into the role. Let me ask you another question. How do you respond when somebody asks you what you do? Do you talk about the technologies you sell or your specific technical expertise? Do you talk about your products or your company? Do you explain that you're the technical expert that gives software demonstrations to prospects and customers? That was my story. My name's Chris White, author of the 6 Habits of Highly Effective Sales Engineers and founder of DemoDoctor.com, a website dedicated to the growth and development of sales engineers. When I first got into the role in 2005, my job title was application engineer. And I thought of myself as the technical expert responsible for giving demonstrations to prospects and customers. In fact, I was at a dinner party in the neighborhood shortly after I took the job, and I struck up a conversation with a gentleman who I hadn't met before. And as the conversations tend to do, it turned to business and profession. And he asked me what I did. At the time, I was working for a company that sold enterprise architecture solutions. And in fact, my expertise was enterprise architecture. So I began to respond with a long-winded answer about enterprise architecture and how companies don't really understand enterprise architecture very well and don't use it effectively. And I'm sure I talked a little bit about our particular product and why we were particularly unique. In fact, I'm surprised the guy stuck around as long as he did, frankly. But at some point in the conversation, I said something to the effect of, well, actually, I just recently took a job and my role now is to give demonstrations as part of a sales conversation with new prospects and customers. With this, he lit up and said, "Oh, you're in software sales." And I think I thought to myself, wait a minute, didn't you just hear what I said about enterprise architecture and the fact that I'm really the technical person responsible for giving the technical pitches and demonstrations? And I thought to myself, this guy completely missed everything I just said. But to be polite and sort of in the interest of time, I said, yeah, that's it. I'm in software sales. And fortunately, at that point, I think a mutual friend walked up and the conversation shifted in a different direction. But later that night, I laid in bed and I thought about that conversation and I thought about what he said. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. He was 100% right. I am in software sales. That is my primary role. My primary job is to support the sales teams through the sales process and in the context of sales engagements. My primary role is to demonstrate to customers how our solution will help them meet their needs and accomplish their objectives and address their issues. I needed to change the way I thought about myself and the way I needed to change or the way I thought about my role. Yes, I have the technical acumen, the technical chops, as I like to say, to give that demonstration, to answer the technical questions. But at the end of the day, my primary job was to help close deals. If you're in this role, regardless of your title, solution architect, sales engineer, solution engineer, technical pre-sales consultant, and regardless of how you might think about that role, if your responsibility is giving demonstrations to prospects and customers side by side with sales counterparts in the context of a sales opportunity, you are in sales. We are in sales. This YouTube channel is dedicated to helping those of us in this role come to peace with what it means to be in sales and learn all the skills and habits of what it takes to be an effective sales engineer and strike that balance between technical expertise and sales acumen. So if you can't come to peace with that, you may not actually like this podcast or this YouTube. But if you can come to peace with that and that resonates with you, then I think you're going to find a great deal of content that's going to help you here. So with that, I just want to close by saying, first and foremost, let's all get our mindset straight. We are in sales. We are part of the sales team, and we are the technical advocates and the technical experts that help close deals. And remember, folks, people buy from people. Sales is a team sport. The best sales engineers develop healthy habits so that they can consistently deliver killer demos. We'll see you next week.